Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com, back again with another cryptocurrency live video. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin again, doing an analysis on what's going on right now with the cryptocurrency market. As per usual, we're going to give a bit of time for people to come on over and join us in the live stream today. And as per usual, I appreciate all the support from all of you, so please make sure to leave a big thumbs up and say a little comment in the stream before we begin. So like I said, if you just hopped in here, just keep in mind that I am giving just a bit of time for people to come on over and join the stream. And right now Bitcoin's price is, kind of just consolidating in the overall pattern. So we're not seeing any clear breakout or breakdown just yet, but there is a little bit of an increased chance for a breakdown based on what happened in the last 24 hours or so. That is the only thing that I'll say for now, but as per usual, we'll be taking a deeper look into this. 13 people already in the stream. That's awesome. We've got Robert Sunderland saying hi from Australia. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves, everyone. 13 people already in the stream. That's amazing. Make sure to leave a like before we start, and we're going to be jumping into the charts in just a few seconds here. Welcome. Thank you all so much for the amazing support on these streams. This is what I'm doing this for. And we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also some altcoins today. We've got some really interesting bits of news. And, the markets are turning quite bearish. In fact, as you can see from this article right here, recession fears halt crypto bounce. So we are seeing a lot of FUD come into the market, but it is maybe not without reason. We do need to keep in mind that the panic is really starting to seep into these markets. In fact, if we go ahead and check what stocks did today, they started to flip lower, especially the riskier stocks such as the NASDAQ index, down over 0.7%. So we're seeing the drop accelerate here across the board, and we were doing really good if you look back over last week and in the weekend, right? We actually did hold a bit of an uptrend, actually. You can see over here that now, however, in the last few hours, we actually did end up losing that uptrend. So yes, we're holding above this purple uptrend line, but as you can see, just about a day ago, right, we started slipping below that. That was actually directly in line with the opening of the stock market futures. We started to sink below that, and this isn't to say that we're going to just come crashing down right away, but we do need to remember that this has now opened up the door for an increase in the downtrend, right? Because we basically broke out of this triangle and are now fully in a downtrend line. We have no uptrend support. We have, of course, a little bit of horizontal support levels. So these are support levels, which I'm drawing right here in yellow, right? These are horizontal support levels based on specific prices. So for example, here you can see around 20,500 has a decent amount of support. And then of course, if we go down the levels, right, we got a next one around 19,600, 19,500. And after that, right, we will have a pretty big drop until our next previous support, which was all the way down here, give or take, between 17,500 and 18,000. We're just going to go ahead and leave it at 18,000 for now. But what is important to keep in mind with this chart is due to the fact that we are now downtrending again, right? And yes, while we do have that little bit of support at 20,500, which is not far from where we're at, the problem is, within a matter of literally a day or two, we could already start falling lower into the next range, which that could easily bring us back down towards the lower levels of 19,000, around 19,600. And once again, right, this is all within a pretty short amount of time. I mean, we're talking literally in the next day or two, we could be at $19,000, or even, within the next 3 to 5 days, we could be all the way back down right here to 17 sorry, 18,000 basically, right? So a lot of drop potential due to us losing this uptrend line. This wasn't the steepest uptrend line, so it is a bit concerning that we lost that so easily. So, you know, if we go down to 19,600, that's going to be about a 6% drop, nothing too worrisome. However, if we get that move down to 18,000, that's going to be almost a 15% drop. And what's worrisome is if we get down to that 18,000 level, right, well, we could see, of course, a breakout right after reaching that. I think it's much more likely based on the rounding pattern that we would have, right? You know, we're really going to build a bit of a price cap due to that rounding pattern, and it's much more likely to lead to the price, you know, sinking lower. And at that point, right, we're really going to be expecting some type of move all the way down to $17,000, right? And obviously, if we go ahead and zoom out further, you know, there's absolute potential for even lower prices down the line, right? So that's going to really put us back in a heavy bear mode. And unfortunately, the stock market has been leading that. In fact, you know, there's been some bullish developments, some bearish developments in crypto, but the stock market is so weak that it's pulling down crypto with it as well. To be honest, that's what I'm seeing personally. In fact, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think stocks are leading cryptos? Do you think cryptos are leading stocks? And where do you ultimately see us going in the next week or so, and ultimately in the next few months? Also want to say hi to Perdana Anwar. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for our 17 live viewers. Let me know, everybody who's watching the stream right now, have you been a regular viewer, or have you just started watching the stream recently? Now, on the daily chart for Bitcoin, we can see that we have now put in 2 consecutive red candles, right? We got that initial red candle as we broke out of the uptrend, and now we got another one. So this is confirming this downward pressure, right? And like I said, at each of these support levels, we do have an opportunity for breakout, but as we go down, it's going to increase the selling pressure, increase the resistance, and make it much more likely for us to get that move down to at least 18K. And then ultimately, right, if we slip below our past support, which was down at 17,500, that's really going to quickly push us down to at least $15,000 before getting any type of serious bounce. So we could start slipping pretty quickly from there. In fact, just to be even more consistent with my analysis here, so like I said, right, about almost 14% down to 18,000, and then if we go down to 16,000, that's about a 23% drop, and 15,000 flat, right, big psychological support level, that's going to be at 27%. So you know, it isn't even that much of a price drop, right? A 20-25% drop can happen pretty easily, even for Bitcoin, let alone the rest of the market. And of course, if you've been watching these streams, I don't want to keep repeating it, but yes, we have Celsius, which still has a multi $100 million liquidation right around 13,600, between $13,600 and $14,000. 20,000 Bitcoins market value over $500 million will be liquidated. So we're really, you know, playing with fire here. And like I say, right, I keep saying this, we're on the edge of a cliff. Only a 35% drop would pretty much wipe out the crypto market clean. Because keep in mind, right, this is on Bitcoin. I don't even want to tell you what's going to happen to some of the smaller altcoins if we see this drop. But yes, Bitcoin will be kind of reset as we know it. If we reach that 13K level, we're going to be literally talking about, you know, billions of dollars in liquidations. And that could, of course, I'm not saying it's going to send the price to zero, but it could absolutely push us back down to $9,000 and really, you know, require the crypto reset, the crypto markets to reset over the course of several months, right, if not a year or two. So we're really playing with fire, and we're on the edge of a cliff right now. In fact, China warns Bitcoin is heading to zero. The Bank of England looks on the bright side now. I'm just mentioning this because this is a very interesting news piece. Of course, you can consider this FUD. This is a very extreme call by China, but just to kind of show you what's going on here, we can see a few quotes, but one of the things is Bitcoin is nothing more than a string of digital codes, and its returns mainly come from buying low and selling high. In the future, once investors' confidence collapse or when sovereign countries declare Bitcoin illegal, it will return to its original value, which is utterly worthless. So very, very harsh comments there. Now, keep in mind, China has not been a fan of Bitcoin, and they actually banned Bitcoin, you know, in the past. So you need to keep in mind that there are always biases with this type of stuff, right? That's why I like to look at the charts and say, okay, yes, we might get a massive wipeout event, right? Clearing a huge portion of the market and liquidating a lot of money. But even if we get that, right, we're not going to go all the way down to $2,000. We're going to go down initially to potentially 15, or if we're already at 13,000, then obviously about $12,000 to $9,000. That's going to be our big support level. And then, you know, if we start sinking below $9,000, then yes, at that point you can start becoming more worried that we're going to see some disastrous prices for Bitcoin. But for the time being, this is still actually pretty normal within an average crypto market cycle and an average bear market, right? Bitcoin and many other coins do get 80 to 90% price drops. Wow, the stream is really blowing up here. Thank you everyone so much for the support. Let me take a second to read all your comments. We're now at 27 live viewers. That is very high up there. I want to beat my previous record of over 50 people live on the stream. So make sure to share it with your friends and leave a thumbs up. Just going to go ahead and say hi to a few of you here, dropping some comments. We've got Renee Vogel, who just started watching the streams. Welcome. We got Michael M. Gore saying hi. We got Robert Sunderland saying hope it really dumps. He wants to load up. Let me know if you are already buying this dip or are thinking about buying this dip as we head forward. We're also going to go ahead and move over to Ethereum really quickly, but please let me know in the comments down below, are you planning on buying this dip, or are you waiting for better prices? Let me know in the comments down below. Wow, 34 people, amazing. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. We've got Chris R saying been following your videos for a while. Also a follower of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's amazing. He is wow, huge compliment there from Chris R. We've got Iron Lux Trader from sunny Southern California. Welcome, Iron Lux Trader. Regular view on the stream. We've got Blue also. A lot of regulars on the stream. 30 people. Let's try and beat that previous record of 50 live viewers. We have Ethereum now at $1,200 flat. I want to go ahead and compare that though, because like I was expecting, right? Bitcoin heavily underperformed Ethereum. The reason I could tell that is because $1,200 is actually pretty high right now for Ethereum, based on where it's been kind of consolidating. I'll go ahead and clear up the chart here and make it neater. But as you can see, right, even in the last, you know, basically over the weekend, Ethereum did go a little bit higher than that, right? We went up all the way to about 1290, it looks like 1280, but we didn't actually, you know, go much lower than where we're at now, but this is still significantly higher than in the few previous weeks. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm jumbling up my words, but Ethereum is still very much holding pretty strong actually, and that is surprising. Now there could be several reasons why that might be the case. Let's go ahead and check DeFi Llama and see if that can give us a hint on what we might be happening to Ethereum's total value locked. And that's what I was expecting. Look at here, folks. We have a slight increase, but a respectable increase nonetheless in total value locked for Ethereum. I believe seeing that we saw a 7% jump in total value locked, but really here in the last week we've actually gone from $76 billion. Sorry, this is on the total time frame, but I'm sure, yeah, we saw a bump up in total value locked for Ethereum. So for Ethereum, 49 to $55 billion almost in total value locked. So a decent jump here, basically about a 10% jump in total value locked. So people are using the Ethereum ecosystem once again for whatever reason, right? There could be a whole bunch of reasons why they might be using it, but they're using it. And so we're seeing some money come back in the space, potentially trying to earn yields on DeFi, potentially participating in protocols such as ENS, which is one of my favorite things in all of crypto. It's basically .eth domain names, and I'm not advertising for them or anything like that. I just really like this decentralized protocol. I do own quite a bit of .eth domains myself, and I do want to try and buy some ENS here on this dip. I just want it to see a little bit lower prices, because it hasn't dropped as much as some of the other altcoins in you know, the DeFi world of ETH. But nonetheless, right, Ethereum is actually showing some pretty stable price action, and I do like the fact that we are fully above the blue 100-day moving average, and we are also quite significantly above the 50-day moving average as well. So this is not to say that we can't slip below these. We absolutely can, but we are seeing a flattening out pattern here, a hard floor sort of being put in through the moving averages, actually mainly right around 1160. Which could basically converge the two together, and we might actually be able to see a very bullish sign, which would be the crossing of the orange 50-day moving average above the blue 100-day moving average. This could cause a massive price pump all the way up to the red 200-day moving average, which has been this line right here. Keep in mind, we have not tested this 200-day moving average line, right, which has been confirming the downtrend. Literally, we have not tested that since April of 2022, April of this year. So you know, we have incurred, since the last time we touched this moving average, right, retested it, I should say, we retested it trying to break above it, we have incurred a 62% price drop. So yes, while there is absolutely a possibility, due to a little bit of renewed weakness in stocks and in Bitcoin, there is still an absolute possibility for us to get a pretty sizable crypto bounce from here. So you need to stay kind of mobile and aware that yes, we could very much see a flip here, but we could just as easily see at least a move up to $1,500 on ETH, which would be a 25% price bounce. Very reasonable. I actually think we could even go as high as $1,700. So there is that upside potential left. Right now we are still in overall a consolidation pattern. We have been forming as well this head and shoulder pattern. However, right, if we take this as the neckline, we're really, you know, on the edge of this right now, live on the stream, right? We have our head and shoulders pattern, and we can actually draw this through technical analysis. We can find out what is the predicted move higher. So we'll take the top to bottom here of the bottom and to the neckline, and we put that to the potential breakout zone. So give or take $1,500 on that, right in line with that 200-day moving average. Smash the like button for the best technical analysis on YouTube. You saw me do it here live. We have an exact indication based on the top to bottom of the neckline to price target reaching $1,500, pretty much exactly in line with that 200-day moving average. And if we kick this up just a bit higher, up to our previous little top here, you know, we could really be basically almost reaching 1,600 and possibly even $1,700 on a bit of a stronger pump. But give or take, right, $1,500 to $1,700, that does seem very likely if we get a confirmation of the breakout above the neckline. And this will be seen across all cryptos, right? We're probably going to see a nice pump in altcoins and in Bitcoin if this happens. Ethereum at this point is one of the stronger altcoins leading the market. But all we need to get a confirmation of the move to $1,500, I'm going to call it right now on the channel live. All we need to see is a move past this previous little high here. So basically $12,080, right? If you really want to be safe, you could even say $1,300, but basically $1,280. So $1,280 would confirm the move to $1,500. So even if you bought it for a long at that breakout confirmation, you would still be able to benefit of a very respectable 16% gain to the upside. Keep in mind, that's not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. Let's head back to the Bitcoin chart, see if we have any hints there of a price move higher or a potential price move lower. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Let me try and keep up with the chat here, because the chat is absolutely blowing up today. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. Please make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter live. I'll leave this page open so we can see everyone who follows from the stream, but you can find a link in the description of this video to my Twitter. And as per usual, make sure to check out the best crypto exchange out there, bit.com. They have cryptocurrency options, and you can find a link to them and get free rewards just for depositing. Link in the description of this video as well. Bitcoin price currently lower in that 28,800 range, and we're gonna see how much we can hold above that. We are now back in, I'll go ahead and actually draw a rectangle for this one. We are back in this range right here, basically between 21,000 and 1960. So the real issue here is we failed to break out above, you know, $22,000, right? We just were not able to hold those levels enough, and we fell back lower. Now you can see a clear difference between Bitcoin's price chart and Ethereum's. Ethereum was above its blue line, right? Let me just double check to make sure I'm not saying anything stupid, but if I remember correctly from what we just looked at a second ago, yes, Ethereum is above its blue line and significantly above its orange line. We're going to go over to Bitcoin and take a look. You're going to see that it's literally right on top, so it's barely above its orange line, and it's definitely nowhere near its blue line just yet, right? That's not saying that we couldn't see that, but it's going to take a little bit longer for Bitcoin to stabilize before we get a potential move higher based on what we're seeing on the charts. And I'm also going to mention, right, a lot of the recent fears are more geared towards Bitcoin specifically. We're going to take a look at some articles, but as you're going to see right here, you can see that there is a substantial increase in selling pressure from miners specifically, right? So we can see that there is a report of $4 billion in Bitcoin mining loans that are in distress. We're seeing massive crypto lending companies going bust here. BlockFi having huge issues, Celsius. These are companies that also had a lot of Bitcoin, and they might have to sell some of it, or who knows what type of liquidations may happen. But here, JP Morgan directly calling out that there is price pressure on the Bitcoin price from miners who are unloading their Bitcoin. And that is because, right, they are nervous about their loan books, meaning they need to cover their costs, they need to pay off their loans. And how are miners going to do that? Well, they're mining Bitcoin, right? So directly speaking, they're getting paid in Bitcoin. So if they want to cash that out to USD, they need to sell the Bitcoin that they mine. That's what's happening. We can also see here another quote by the head of lending at Galaxy Digital. Very, very important here. Now, you know, Galaxy Digital blew up on Luna. Sorry to make that joke, but yes, it's true. I mean, Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz took a massive hit with Luna, and they were kind of Luna pumpers, honestly, in my opinion. But regardless, right, they still are a very big institution in crypto, and we can see the quote here by their head of lending. Bitcoin miners, broadly speaking, are feeling the pain. This can be seen across the board with Bitcoin mining stocks. They are, and they have said that they are unloading their Bitcoin to cover costs, basically, right? So this is an issue because Bitcoin miners do get a regular amount of Bitcoin. Combined amount is obviously very large, and right now in this bearish market, in this downtrend, they are not holding it. They are unloading it as fast as they get their hands on it, and this is a huge problem because the reason why they're doing this is because they don't have faith in the price of Bitcoin right now, right? They're saying Bitcoin is a complete falling knife. And, you know, logically speaking, if they thought we were at some type of bottom, I mean, folks, we've already dropped a massive 70%. Why are they just now at such low prices selling their Bitcoin? Well, most likely it's because, one, they need money fast. They need it right now. And two, they just don't think the bounce is nowhere near, right? Because otherwise they could just hold their Bitcoin for 2 months and sell it all the way at 40,000, get double the money, but they're not doing that, right? That's because they really think that we're falling lower, right? And I mean, they probably have a lot of industry connections. They probably know what's going on behind the scenes. So they are betting on increased sell pressure, and they're taking advantage of getting their Bitcoin sales at as soon as possible, just to be able to recover some USD from it, right? So based on the quantity and the aggressiveness of their selling, it looks guaranteed almost that we get down to 14,000 and probably even as low as $10,000. Because they just would not be selling at such a pace if they were truly bullish on the Bitcoin price, or if they even thought we could see a bounce pretty soon. Let me go ahead and take a second to read all your comments. We have a huge amount of people in the stream today. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to jump even in more detail on this Bitcoin chart analysis, currently range bound here. But let's see if we do still have an opportunity to get some type of bounce. In the meantime, let me keep up with the comments here. We have Crypto Plumber on the beach watching. That's amazing. I don't think you can find a better place to watch a live stream. So hopefully you're enjoying it, Crypto Plumber. He is one of our recent followers on the channel, so thank you so much for becoming a regular viewer. We have Brian K from Dublin, Ireland. I have not seen you before, but hi Brian, welcome to the stream. Please make sure to leave a like, everyone. The stream is blowing up, 25 live viewers. I want to break our previous record of 50 people live. We have Brandon C. Hey, bullish here for a rip up. Did you see that ARPA to USD move? Yes, I did. Now some of you might not know what that coin is whatsoever, but and honestly I didn't even know too much about that coin. But yes, he fully predicted, I believe, what was a over 40% price pump on ARPA a day before it happened on the stream. I have no idea how you did that, Brandon, but yes, I did see that move, and I was very surprised. I remembered your comment instantly. We have Smudger saying he bought the dip 2 weeks ago on the big crash. A few outs like VXV, Near, Pyre, UOS, CRV, those are not bad at all. Those are some of the altcoins that were doing very good in the bull market. Things like Ultra. Some of you may know this coin, kind of relating to the metaverse. Looks like it's kind of reaching some floor prices here. Could potentially fall another 50%, but overall a pretty good project, and a project that does pump hard in the bull markets. I can tell you this, Smudger, although this may not be the peak bottom, at least you bought it on the peak dip for now. So you already did better than most people, because some of these coins had pumped a lot. I was holding off on buying some more Polygon because it went up so much in the last few days, right? We saw an over 60% move, and guess what? Now we're starting to see it fall back again. I will definitely be, I think, accumulating more Polygon again for everyone watching the stream, but I do want to wait and be patient till we see those lower price levels, because now, you know, if you had bought during the weekend, you wouldn't have gotten very good prices, but now we're already starting to see prices fall back down again. And quite honestly, right, they could fall a lot lower still. In fact, in the last 7 days, now we're seeing some of the altcoins up substantially, like Shiba Inu up 35%, Avalanche up 20%. These could still fall completely back down again. So don't get too caught up in the hype, as per usual, not financial advice. We've got Fedge Lind saying for sure Bitcoin bottom below 10K. He even thinks potentially 6 to 8K will be the peak bottom, then sideways. You know what? That is what most people would consider more on the absolute you know, aggressive side of what would be the market bottom, let's say. But it is absolutely possible. You know, I don't think that we should shut out any price levels. In fact, very interesting comment there from Fedgy Lind, which he mentioned 6K potentially being the BitK bottom. And if you look at that, right, that would be a very ugly pullback for Bitcoin. I mean, that would literally put us back in 2017 prices, right? But the fact of the matter, if we did see some type of you know, kind of black swan event in crypto, or global geopolitical drama that tanks markets, including the stock market, of course, 6K is a massive support level for Bitcoin. So I will make a call right now based on his comment that if we were to go as low as 6K, I think that would literally be the absolute floor price for Bitcoin. I don't see any way that we're going below that level. In fact, that has previously been numerous times huge support for Bitcoin. We can see it bottomed out there multiple times. It was also the breakout area right here and right here, and it was once again support back here in 2020, which caused the initial massive bull run that we saw thereafter. So that seems to be the rock bottom floor prices. He mentioned between 6 to 8K bottom, absolutely possible. I'm a little bit more optimistic, saying maybe more towards 9K peak bottom, but this is just to give you an idea, right? That the people who have been around a long time in the space, people like myself and others, we are expecting, right, at the very least in this range right here, so give or take between $14,000 and $6,000 peak bottom. And historically speaking, though, the one thing that I will say against Leggy's comment there, Feggy, sorry, I'm messing up your name completely, sorry about that, is based on the historical peak bottoms for Bitcoin, a 9K price target would be more realistic, right? So 9K price target would bring us down to a total about 86% drop, right? But if we go down to 6K, that's all the way down to 91% drop. That would be one of the bigger crashes and pullbacks in Bitcoin history. So not to say that that's impossible. I do believe we've seen a 90% price drop before on Bitcoin, but it could be a little bit less likely than seeing 10 to 9K. Anything is possible in crypto, and that's one of the most important things to keep in mind, and is to always remember that anything can happen. If you're wondering what this thing is right here, that is my thumbs up button. And as per usual, if you're enjoying this live stream, please make sure and hit that like button. Let's try and get the most likes we've ever gotten on a stream. And do not forget, let me draw my check mark here. Do not forget to leave that like on this stream, as we're covering the Bitcoin price analysis in the most detailed manner possible. And now we're going to talk about, can we get that price pump higher for Bitcoin, or is it just going to be too hard based on what we're seeing? So right now, Bitcoin's price flattening and very weak. We are in this range between 21,000 and 19,600. Any move below 20,000, gonna likely see a move start to sink lower, could push us back down to $18,000 at least, right? Please remember, at least 40 live viewers on the stream. Welcome everyone. That's a record on this stream, and we're only 10 viewers away from our all-time record on the live stream. So please make sure to like and share. So right now, right, very similar to what we saw with Ethereum, we have, I'll just go ahead and draw back over it again, right? We have our head and shoulders pattern on the Bitcoin price, right? But however, since we saw this flattening out and weakening, once we reached between 21,000 and 21,800, right, we kind of hit a wall. And what's even more bearish is we didn't even actually come and test this blue line right here, right? We were not even able to test it. Now, it would have been a little bit more bullish if we came just and touched this line very quickly here on this pump. Unfortunately, we did not, which means that we are, again, downtrending on the Bitcoin price here in the short term. And that could really add to the selling pressure. In fact, since we've started this stream, we fell almost 100 points, and this could continue, right? Because now we are in a downtrend in the short term, and even on the medium term. If we draw it from back up here, we are once again downtrending. This downtrend is actually even steeper than the shorter term one, which is not really a good sign whatsoever. That's a lot of selling pressure, right? We basically got two downtrend lines coming and smacking on that Bitcoin price and causing it to struggle to go a lot higher. We have so many comments and so many viewers right now. We're almost breaking our record. If you want me to make sure to see your chat, please make sure and consider dropping a super chat to support the stream. As long as you guys support it, I will keep doing the best streams for technical analysis and overall insights for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins as well. In fact, talking about the overall market, surprisingly, we have seen an increase in the global cryptocurrency market cap, right? Although we did fall in the last 24 hours, we're now up to 980 billion. I said that once we reach $1 trillion again in global cryptocurrency market cap, it could cause heavy resistance. But the important pattern to notice here, as kind of embarrassing as it is for Bitcoin, right now money is leaving Bitcoin and going into altcoins, including Ethereum, but also some of the smaller ones out there. This can directly be seen by the price increases that can be seen with things like Polygon still up 40% in the last 7 days, Uniswap up a massive 27%, right? While Bitcoin is only up 1.5% versus its biggest competitor Ethereum in a way, which is up basically significantly more than Bitcoin. So we're seeing altcoins being treated a little bit better than Bitcoin, and that is directly due to reasons like this that I mentioned, right? Pressures on Bitcoin, more specifically due to margin loans, miners that are unloading their coins, and that all of that, right? All of that is causing us to really experience heavy selling pressure on the Bitcoin price. So that is, very much what's causing this drop for Bitcoin more specifically, and we are seeing altcoins like Doge near a 20-day high and Tron also moving higher, right? And just to briefly dive into altcoins, Tron is now recovering back into its high range of 6 cents, and this is directly due to what I've been calling for several days now on the stream, which was that the USDD stablecoin, which many people were fearing was going to depeg completely, guess what? It's fully starting to repeg again. So this is a huge deal, right? People thought that we were down here 97 cents, 96 cents. It was going to come crashing like UST. This was not the case. The USDD coin has fully pegged. This is bullish for Tron, very bullish. This could push Tron to over $100 billion in market cap, in my own personal opinion. I only own a bit of Tron, so I'm not even being biased by saying that. I should own a lot more, to be honest, because now that we're seeing this stablecoin managing to basically hold peg, I think we're going to get a full return to $1 here, and that is going to cause Tron to move higher. That means that we have another big decentralized stablecoin, right along with DAI. Really, one of the only ones that will compete again with DAI is probably going to be USDD, and that's going to be bullish to push crypto higher whenever we start to stabilize. But as of right now, going back to the Bitcoin price, right, we are indeed, on those lower levels. I have no idea what caused that ringing sound, by the way, in the chat. I don't know if one of you actually left a super chat. But thank you if anyone did. I have no idea what that ringing sound was, if that was the website I was on. But regardless, let me just keep up with all the comments here. We actually hit a new high of over 50 people on the stream. Amazing support. Thank you for all your likes. Please, everybody who is here who has not been watching before, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm keeping this open to see all your likes and follows on my Twitter, and also make sure to subscribe for more streams like this, the best streams on YouTube with the most accurate analysis. I've been in the game since 2017. I was fully here during the entire crypto winter, which is a coin that's flying all over the news now, and that is referring to this period back here. I experienced the whole run up and the whole time in this horrific crypto winter. It was not fun. It feels even longer than it is, right? That was a full 2-year run. And some of you may have been watching me since then, but I was there still talking about crypto in this entire time. I was here on the run up, I was here on the downtrends, and I am continuing to do that. In fact, one of the reasons why I started these live streams is to support all of you and to not just abandon you like all the other YouTubers who go hiding in a ditch when the market drops, right? That is not why I started this channel. I started this channel to be right here with you in the trenches live, whether the market is good or bad. And let's please be reminded that even if we're going to drop a bit more, or if we're starting to stabilize and put in a bottom, right, there is always an opportunity, whether the market is dropping or the market is going up, there is always an opportunity to capitalize on the price action. In fact, I just got one of my biggest offers ever on one of my .eth domain names, and that is coming in the middle of a bear market. So it just goes to show you, if you own something valuable, right, sooner or later, and likely sooner than later, people will start to, raise the price of the asset or bid on your asset because they want to own it, right? And that's what happens when you own something that's actually valuable. And certainly the bigger coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum are the ones that have the most guaranteed value, in my opinion. And we're seeing that by Ethereum holding up so much and seeing activity on the network. In fact, if I hadn't mentioned that I got a big offer on my .eth address, you probably would have never known. But yes, people are still fully using the Ethereum network and are preparing themselves for the next bull market. And hopefully that's where all of you are as well. So let's take a look at this article here. Recession fears halt crypto bounce. Analysts see few positive signs to sustain a crypto rally. Keep in mind, there's a huge amount of manipulation in crypto, and there might be ulterior motives to why people are saying these things, right? Really, please keep that in mind, folks. People may be saying these things to get better prices on assets we want to buy. So, you know, there are companies like FTX, which, in my opinion, do tend to kind of take advantage of bear markets and of crashes to further gain a monopoly on the crypto market. Now, that is just my own opinion, right? But that's what I'm seeing. We're starting to see that play out, and I just pulled up the total crypto market kind of map here, where you can see what is green and what is red. We've obviously got these stable coins green, which means that right now there's some fears that we might drop again. We have some of the better altcoins, such as TRX, directly linked to the stable coin, which is bouncing. We've got XTZ, which I said was very undervalued at around that $1.50 price level. We have ApeCoin that saw a massive jump, and these are all coins that I mentioned on the stream. So it's really unfortunate. If this is your first time watching the stream, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss these live streams. In fact, I've been very accurate. I'm sure everyone here can say in the stream how accurate I've been in the last week or so, but most of these calls on the altcoin bounces, I fully predicted them. And actually, if you watch these streams in the last week, let me know what you think were my most accurate calls so the other viewers in the stream can see that. Right now, Bitcoin really playing with that $20,800 level. Like I said, it's not make or break it just yet, but once we reach these downtrend lines, that's when we're either going to see that bigger drop down to 19,500 bare minimum, right, which I likely think would actually end up pushing us down to 18K again. Also kind of minimum, right, because at that point we would be at least at risk of going lower. However, we could double bottom at 18K and then still see the massive price pump. So whether we move to the upside or downside, the one thing that I want to say to everyone in the stream is you know, we could very much get a lot of whipsaw price action. We could fall that 10% down to around 18K and then go ripping right back up higher, all the way up to 26K or even 28K, right? And this could also happen just as easily with Ethereum, although I will point out that since Ethereum has been seeing that increased strength, its downside is a little bit less likely. However, it is still fully open to a drop down to $1,000 or potentially a little bit above that. Let's call it $1,015, somewhere around there. And at that point, we could also get that pump all the way higher again. So if we did see a drop lower before pumping higher, you know, very big price move, 50% plus up to 70%. Potential move back up. So don't get caught in thinking just because we see a drop we're going to go all the way to $500, or just because we see a pump we're going to go all the way to $2,000. No, this is trap territory, both in terms of getting a move higher, right, up to 1,500 and dropping lower again, and same thing, right, going back a little bit lower down to 1,000 and then pumping up. Ultimately, right, regardless of what happens, I do think we could get absolute fake outs like this, like going down to 1,000, going right back up to 1,500 or 1,700, and then going all the way back down to $800 plus, ultimately leading to my peak low bear market target, which is around $361 for Ethereum. For those who are new to the stream, that is my ultimate peak bottom low price target, right around $361, give or take. For Ethereum. For Bitcoin, I am estimating a $9,000 peak bottom for Bitcoin, and I see some people leaving the stream here. As I said that, there is no reason to panic, right? Because if you believe in crypto long term, then you should be happy. In fact, you should be jumping all over the house with the type of prices that you could be getting into for the long term, right? And that is really what I'm seeing myself. Is why not be patient? Yes, I could play this move up to 1,500, 1,700. I would possibly do that with some margin trades on my favorite exchange, bit.com, link in the description. But right, with that being said, at the same time, leaving the shorter term opportunities aside, which are great and respectable and could lead to massive profit, there is just as easily those longer terms. We're going to the weekly chart, right? Look at that. If you go to the weekly chart, you can see that, yes, we dropped a lot, but would it be that weird if we got that little additional drop down to $361? If you go over to the weekly chart, not really, right? It would actually almost make sense to reset at that level, right? Would it not make sense to fully bottom out over here where we already kind of had a previous bottom? Or are we just going to weirdly, in the middle of this range, bottom out and just go ripping higher back to $5,000? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, right? I am extremely bullish on Ethereum long term. I even said that after the end of this bull market, I said that we could be heading up to $15,000, $20,000, and even $25,000 for Ethereum. Okay, so yes, I am very bullish, just as everybody else. But with that being said, you also need to balance things out, right? Stay realistic with what's going on. Now, of course, I already said that in terms of dollar cost averaging, getting in some here at 1,200 and down to potentially $600, $500, $300, that's a good strategy in my opinion. But for what I'm trying to do, right, I want to see those rock bottom prices before I start getting in. And if that means missing the bounce, so be it, because I am already invested in crypto. I'm still holding, right, most of my crypto. I held it throughout this drop. I only sold some of the weaker coins. I still hold my entire bag of Avalanche. I hold my entire amount of Polygon. So these are two coins that I really believe in that I have not sold one bit of. So, you know, I'm just saying that to show you I'm not paper handsing any of my holdings. I am fully holding steady, and I will continue to do so. And right now we're already entering absolute discount territory for many coins out there, right? But there still could be more, and that's why I'm choosing the patience game. And for now, that has massively paid off, right? Because look at how many times during this drop you could have bought thinking that you were getting amazing prices, and what did you do? You just caught a freaking falling knife. Okay, you caught the falling knife. Ignore that disturbing picture that I just drew, and just realize what's going on here, right? Heavy falling knife, folks. It's not really done yet. We would need to go above probably $2,000 again, maybe even 2,200 to kind of confirm that we're out of the falling knife pattern. So as you can imagine, that is very unlikely, and in fact I would almost call it impossible, considering the fact that we're only just now starting to peak lower on the moving averages on the weekly time frame, right? And that can be a harsh realization, right, if you're not used to looking at the bigger time frames. But the bigger time frames are letting us know where we're heading in the next few months, which I'm sure a lot of you want to know. And look at what I just showed you. These moving averages are now starting to point lower, right? The blue one hasn't even flipped lower yet. The orange one has the 50-day moving average, but the blue one hasn't. And I can imagine both those that are going to head much lower and really start pointing towards the downside. So this is just to say that right now the momentum is, you know, not only nowhere near bullish, it's actually turning even more bearish by the day. This, regardless of if we see a move to $1,500 or $1,700, which I think can totally happen. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Be realistic here. And also, none of this is financial advice, so I'm not recommending you to do anything in specific. You are free to do whatever you want. In fact, everything is your own personal decision, right? I do not do financial advice on this channel. I'm just sharing you my own experience with crypto, what I've seen over years and years of experience in both the bullish times and in the bearish times. So I'm gonna try ahead and pull up a cleaner chart on Ethereum. That is what I wanted to see. Sorry, for Bitcoin. So basically, right, we still have total downtrend on the weekly time frame, and could start to see some consolidation here, however, but still, right, keep in mind we are still in the overall bigger pattern. I just wanted to go ahead and pull up the cleaner chart because this shows you that we are actually below the 200-day moving average, and as of right now, no sharp bounce from that just yet, right? I'd love to see a little move higher up to 28K, but as of right now, right, despite the fact that you would think that we got a very quick bounce like we had over here, right, where we bounce just a week later back above the 200-day moving average. Please, 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 everybody who is in the stream, pay attention to what I'm saying right now. This is one of the most important parts of the stream. Make sure and hit that like button. This is not the time to fall asleep. Look at what happened back here, right? We can totally use the previous history and momentum of Bitcoin to kind of say what's expected at least to happen this time around. And this time around, unfortunately, we have something very different happening. Here, we hit that level and instantly a week later closed it back above it. Guess what happened here, folks? Something that you do not want to see. We did move a bit higher the next week after this initial drop, but guess what? We didn't even hit the 200-day moving average, let alone go above it. We didn't even touch it, right? So we're not above it now. And in fact, we're putting in a red candle, which could be a candle that sinks us lower again to put in a new lower low in the short term, which would be extremely, extremely bearish, right? And in fact, we could potentially see a lot of price slipping lower down to 12,500 based on what I'm seeing here on the weekly time frame. In fact, we do have that little last bit of support at 14,000, but guess what is at 14,000? The $500 million Celsius liquidation of their Bitcoin. So do you really think that's going to be the bottom? I don't think so. I think if anything, much more likely that 12,500 is going to be the short-term bottom in that scenario, right? Let me go ahead and take a second to follow up with all your comments. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. We have Iron Lux Trader who bought Ethereum dip. He is in the green so far. That is good to know. Potentially he is trying to play a potential bounce to 1500, but please do be careful here, folks, because we could just as easily see the price move lower. Like I said, though, that depends on your strategy. If you're trying to dollar cost average, then you have no worries of that, right? You're actually happy that you're seeing those lower prices. But if you bought this trying to expect a peak bottom, at that point you need to be more careful, right? Now let's pay close attention to the $20,000 800 price. We're moving a little bit higher here. Like I said, right, despite the fact that I may have seemed very bearish in the last 10-15 minutes, we still have, right, total potential to go up to those higher levels, right, for Bitcoin 28K, and for Ethereum massive pump of you know, $1,500 $1,700. So definitely a lot more upside potential in the medium term here that could still play out. Now let's see your thoughts on BTC immediate short term. Immediate short term is just going to be some consolidation there. To answer your question, Jesse, immediate short term, if we go over to the 15-minute time frame, you know, I would say I'm leaning towards a lot of consolidation like we've actually been seeing in the shorter term, and if not a little bit of downside, right? Just because we're below these all three of these moving averages right now and they're heading lower. I just have to stay a little bit more pessimistic on the short-term price based on those indications. That's not to say that we couldn't move higher. In fact, I would turn quite a bit bullish again if we got above this this moving average, the red one here, 21,250. That could actually push us back above 22,000, at which point we could start getting those higher prices of 24 to 28K. I have some great teachers, you being one of them. God bless, coming from Brandon C. Thank you so much for the support, Brandon. We've got Stevie Santos. Bitcoin has never been through a recession. I'd say 10K the lowest. Interesting comment. Yes, folks, it is important to remember. Let's go back to the daily time frame. Bitcoin in its entire history, right? Let's actually go ahead and pull this up over here on a much cleaner chart. In the entire history of Bitcoin, right, since its inception, now over a decade ago, basically, has never experienced a bear market, right? Never. It's never, ever experienced a bear market. In fact, Bitcoin's existence has been in one of the most prosperous, bullish economic times where people are throwing money at anything that moves. That's not to say that Bitcoin isn't one of the best assets in the world, because I certainly think it is, but it's just to say, right, this was within a certain economic condition. Any point in time where we had a little bit of fears of the economy, which was basically back here in this crypto winter, the price was very, very weak, very, very flat, and now we're potentially seeing a round two of that. The scary thing is, right, and that's why Stevie is mentioning that comment. Big thank you to Stevie for letting the stream know, for people who don't know this. But this time around, we will potentially be in a full-blown recession, right? potentially even a depression for the global economy, and that could lead to unexpected consequences for the Bitcoin price and for some of the cryptos out there, right? Hence the 10, 9K, 6K price target, potentially. So moving a little bit higher here on the Bitcoin price short term, we'll keep an eye on it, right? We'll keep an eye, like I said, on these levels right here. Even if we get back actually above 21,100, probably going to start to see a little bit of bullish action come into play. We've got Drag UK 10K to 12K for me, but who knows these days? But I think it takes 6 months to go there. The Fed increases. So yeah, that's basically, you know, that kind of October time frame when people think the Fed is going to turn their money printers back on, at which point the price of Bitcoin will skyrocket alongside most other assets out there. And just sorry for me, I'm having to hunt through these many comments. We got the most support ever on one of my live streams, so huge thank you to all of you. I think we may have even gotten some super chats, but I'm not 100% sure. They didn't pop up on my screen, but I'm going to keep improving the streams and keep increasing the quality of these live streams. I'm going to get some animations going. These streams are going to look awesome. I'm trying to make these into the best technical analysis, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency news update streams in the entire crypto space, and I'm sure I can do that with your support. I was one of the first channels in the entire crypto space. In fact, I'll go ahead right here and claim that I was the first person to ever make a price prediction for crypto, right? So you may see a lot of YouTubers doing crypto price predictions now. Well, I was the first one to ever do that. That was on Litecoin back before the first ever crypto bull market ever even happened. So yes, you are come to the right channel. I've been around. Now Bitcoin, like I said, right, we're seeing it weaken again. So that a little pump higher did not last very long, because like I said, these 3 moving averages trending lower is going to be very, very heavy on the price, and likely to see it push down to that $20,500 level initially. That might happen live as you watch the stream, and that will show you the accuracy of my calls. John Boswell, when everyone is bearish and thinks it's going to go down, it'll probably go up. That is true. That is absolutely true. But I want to mention, most people, right now, the people that are watching the stream are probably on the smarter side of the crypto space, have likely had a decent amount of experience. But you need to remember, the majority of the crypto retail traders are actually kind of still buying, right? They think this is a good, you know, peak bottom dip buying opportunity. It's being seen in stocks as well. But what happens is, right, week over week, we actually just end up heading lower. So until there is very little interest in the crypto space, and we are at some ridiculous rock bottom prices where people think that Bitcoin is just going to vanish, that will be the peak bottom. That's always been the case. So let's see here. Eugenia Grove, huge profit on Friday. Nice. Crypto King, what do you expect that the price will do when Celsius will be liquidated? That's a good question, and I mentioned it here. The liquidation of Celsius is borderline going to be a black market swan event for crypto. Around $14,000 liquidation price. I'm expecting at bare minimum going down to around 12,500, right? But I think ultimately that's what's going to lead to push us below $10,000 a few days and weeks after that, and what would ultimately lead to our peak bottom. So, you know, it's going to be extremely bearish when that happens, because I do think it will happen, but ultimately it's what's going to cause us to find that peak bottom price level. And that initial level could be as low as 12,500, but ultimately, right, it's going to have such a ripple effect on crypto that it is very likely that we move below $10,000 after that happens. Now, it's also that for altcoins harder than Bitcoin initially. That is true. That's coming from Jugi. Yes, these altcoins, right, tend to fall lower initially and then start to kind of hit their bottom, whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum end up playing catch up to the altcoins at that point, where they also need to get their peak bottom in. And it's a bit harder. You need more extreme things to lower the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, such as a Celsius liquidation. For some of the smaller altcoins, right, Dogecoin, whatever, anything, just a bit of fear could cause it to hit its peak bottom. But that's not going to happen with the two biggest coins that have hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap, right? You need bigger events, and it'll take longer for them to find its peak bottom. Ironlock is saying smash the like button. Yes, sir. And please make sure and leave your support. Follow me on Twitter. Hit that like button for the best analysis on YouTube. We have Alex Sanchez saying 10.8k BTC, right? Which is definitely some very nice price levels. That is actually a pretty key level, because that's going to be kind of our final barrier of support right there. 10.8k, that's our final barrier of support before probably slipping below $10,000. He says huge blessing buying opportunity basically for him, and he doesn't think that we're nowhere near that bottom area. So yes, you know, that is really going to be some of the better prices that we can expect, and at that point is when I'm going to start considering to buy. We've got Blue saying he is going to bed at nighttime in the UK. Thank you for following until you went to bed. We've got Athrin saying, I don't think bulls have the strength to go to 1500. He is referring to ETH. He's saying, look at the volume. Let's see what he's referring to. So he's talking about the volume on Ethereum, and he's saying we do not have enough buying volume to push us higher. Let's clean up the chart real quick and see what he's talking about. We can see the volume bars right here, right over here. Let's check just quickly the weekly time frame. So yeah, the volume is not great on the weekly, at least nothing special, especially on this candle. Now, of course, the week just started, but if we go over to the daily time frame, you know, he is partially right now. We're not seeing extremely low volume, but we're just completely sinking lower in terms of the buying volume, right? And now, you know, we have that downtrend back in, and the buying volume is drying up, you know, day over day. I think he's expecting 20k ETH long term. We've got 3 mining in June. Bitcoin will be 7,000 before this year will be over. Very interesting. That's 2 people now in the live stream that have said that Bitcoin will probably be below $8,000, right? That's even lower than my peak bottom price prediction. But 2 people now are expecting somewhere between $8,000 to $6,000 peak bottom. Anybody who's expecting such low price targets, please let me know your experience. How long have you been in the crypto space? I'm just trying to gauge the experience level of the people who are really calling for some very low bottoms, which, you know, does tend to happen, right? We do tend to fall lower than we expect. That has been the pattern previously as well for Bitcoin. Now, like I said, right, I called it live during the live stream. The selling pressure coming in from those moving averages, we're back below 20,800. My guess is that by the end of the stream, we're as low as $20,500. So let's see what's going on here. Some people are saying, you know, better value in buying the altcoins and the meme coins. That is possible. My BTC price targets over the next few days are 22,300, 23,000, 23,900. 26,450. I definitely agree with that. 22,300 and 26,450, 2 very key levels to continue pushing higher on the Bitcoin price. Yes, granted, right, we made some good progress in the last week or so, right, getting an overall 22% at the peak and now still a 17% bounce from the bottom on Bitcoin. But we still want to see more of a breakout to reach those higher price levels. We have Athrin saying, to be honest, he bought BTC at 19k and 1k at ETH, thinking to DCA, but I really think to sell now for 20% profit to buy lower. Really interesting comment from Athrin. Now, what's interesting with that is that is something that can be done, right? You buy a cheap price level, right, in the shorter term, and then you get that price pump. So now the question is, well, you're up, right, 20% or so. Do you take that profit and then potentially buy it back at a lower price, or do you just hold it and potentially DCA but risk incurring and going into the negative on your position? Now, I can't answer what to do with that, right, because I do not give financial advice, but I will tell you something that's very important to consider. Now, we could get a pump higher, like I said, right? Still could go up to 20, all the way up to 28k, let's say, at the top. So are you willing to miss out on that 35% price pump? That is the question. because that could happen. And at that point, you could sell at those higher levels like 26, 28K and then let it fall back down. Or do you think that we just have enough strength to go up about 20% and then we're instantly going to fall back down lower again, right? That's the kind of thing you need to battle with and kind of settle on to make your decision, in my opinion. We've got someone saying BTC moves along with NASDAQ. So if NASDAQ falls, BTC is going to fall hard. Absolutely true, right? NASDAQ did indeed fall hard today. The futures are a little bit green, but yes, we did fall hard today on the NASDAQ, right? Almost a full percent. And that caused crypto to start sinking lower, actually. We've got Field Blue. It is a dream to own 10 BTC. Absolutely, right? I think you're a guaranteed millionaire if you own 10 BTC long term. You might be even have over $10 million, right? 1 million per BTC, 10 BTC, $10 million total. In fact, you only need 0.28 BTC to be in the top 1% of Bitcoin holders forever. You do not need a Bitcoin, a full Bitcoin, because there are only 21 million Bitcoins. You can do the math. 0.28 BTC guarantees you to be in the top 1% of Bitcoin holders. And right now, right, that's only $5,800. That literally makes me crack up laughing, right? That is nothing to guarantee yourself in the top 1% of Bitcoin holders forever. Okay. If you try doing that, right, back when we were at $60,000, well, guess what, right? You were paying well over $10,000 to get into that 1% territory. So right now, you're really getting in the 1% for less than $6,000. Great deal, in my opinion. We could see even better prices, such as 10K, at which point only $2,800 would get you in the top 1% of Bitcoin holders forever, let alone owning a full Bitcoin, which would likely make you, you know, basically rich, right? I mean, we're talking $250K to $1 million price targets in the next 5 to 6 years. Long term, you know, that is some serious upside potential on your side. Crypto King, how low do you think ETH will go in the bear market? I mentioned that I think ETH can go down as low as $361 initially. We'll be heavily aiming for that $500 price, right? But ultimately $361 is my peak bottom price target. But yes, we do have some support, and we will probably be attracted to that $500 price target initially. Atherin, out of curiosity, what were you calling for 2018 2019 bear market bottom? He is referring to you know, after the initial big crypto pump and the first crypto winter, what did I expect would be the peak Bitcoin bottom? If I remember correctly, and honestly, I really have a hard time remembering that, right? Because that was a while ago. But if I remember, let's see, right? So our actual peak bottom was down to $3,000 flat. That was an 84% price drop, basically. And I believe my peak bottom price target was about $6,000. So I wasn't actually that far off in the grand scheme of things. In fact, if you look, right, we did really kind of almost hit a bottom here at 6K after the initial pump, right? It was very bullish for the Bitcoin price. And, you know, people really thought that Bitcoin had entered in a whole new dimension when we reached 20K. So we thought that, you know, maybe it wasn't going to drop that much. I started to see how much selling pressure there was, and I did expect a 6K bottom. And yes, we did fall actually technically 50% lower than that. And I do believe on that exact day, I bought that dip and bought a lot of Bitcoin at $4,000. Sorry, I'm talking so much, my throat is drying up. But yes, at $4,000 on that day, I remember now, that was like a 40% price drop in a very short amount of time. I had bought that up and had then sold it later in the pump, I believe. But basically, right, the drop down to the absolute bottom, which was right there, $3,000, was a very sharp drop, right? So what a lot of people thought was the bottom, me included, right, if you were maybe more experienced, around 6K, wasn't that inaccurate, but we did get that little quick sharp drop and then started immediately recovering after that. Okay, in fact, you know, if we go ahead and move back a little bit lower, we had one other little drop there, but it wasn't as low. So you can use that information to kind of expect, you know, what could happen on this market like I said, right, what happened here? Well, we reached some kind of hard floor bottom at 6K, but then we got that little last flush at 3K before really putting in the bottom. That could be very similar to what we expect now, right? So if we expect, you know, let's say Matt's, so my $9,000 price target, right? That might be fairly accurate. We might consolidate right around 9,000, 10,000 bucks for a while, and then we might get one bit of bad news that freaks out the market and pushes us down to 6K, and that's the peak bottom, and then we start moving higher from there. So that's very, very possible. That's actually likely what will happen. The peak bottoms don't tend to last very long, right? One of the ways you could have potentially known as this was going on that this wasn't the peak bottom is because it took time, and we weren't getting any major bounces, right? Any bounces were failing. We were putting in lower highs. We were consolidating. We were getting support, right? It's not like there wasn't support. There was absolute support at this level, but we weren't going higher, and we kept on testing this level nonstop, which led to its ultimate break. And this one, right, we saw immediately after hitting that level of $3,000, guess what? We started going higher, and in fact, afterwards, we even crossed back above that 200-day moving average, which was the final signal to what was ultimately basically the time to buy, sort of, right? So if you're able to get in there at around 4,500, you did amazing. So let's pay attention to that on this market, right? We need to get back above this, folks. Above this 200-day moving average. Look at how far we are from that, right? And that's why I was trying to tell you, don't get overzealous, you know, right now, loading the bag just yet, potentially, because there's still a lot of time for this to drop, right? We're talking months. Look at what I'm drawing. We're all the way in February 2023, right? This could be months, eventually peak bottom, and then we start moving higher, right? So that's kind of how things tend to play out. We have a lot of people expecting around 10 to 12K bottom range, says Atherin. That's why I said, right, if a lot of people are expecting about 10 to 12K, right, keep in mind 12K is only $2,000 more than Celsius's liquidation, then we could very easily get those lower price levels of 8 to 6K to actually put in the peak bottom. I have no idea what that ringing sound is. If anybody knows, please let me know. It might be an app on my computer or super chats. I literally have no idea what's doing that ringing sound. Let's see here. Atherin posting a bunch of comments. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. I believe you're a new viewer, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Anybody else who's new, make sure to subscribe. Don't miss out on these amazing analysis videos. Atherin totally agrees with my comment. Seems like we have similar thinking there. There's a crypto thing that says 70K buy orders set. Can't wait till they hit. I don't exactly know what he means by that. If that's like $70,000 or he's playing the breakout or something. Oh, I guess maybe he's selling the breakout. I have no idea. Let me know what you mean by that. We have Atherin who said he already subbed. Atherin, let me know if you're new to the stream. Was this the first stream that you watched? We had great support this stream. 37 people live. And we're not done just yet. If you have any questions on Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other altcoin out there, please let me know in the comment section down below. This is your chance to ask me any questions before the end of the live stream. I'm watching the comments live. I want you to tell me if there's any thoughts or opinions that you want me to give, or if there's any quick analysis that you want me to do on both Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other altcoin out there. And yes, Atherin says first time he watched the stream. That's amazing. Welcome to the channel, Atherin, and I will keep doing these amazing live streams for all of you. Please, this is your last chance to let me know in the comment section down below if you have any last questions for me over here. I will gladly answer them. I will gladly do a quick technical analysis, even if it's an altcoin, but you got to go ahead and drop that comment here so we can go ahead and do that analysis. Right now, Bitcoin still at 20,800, and ultimately, right, very, very flat. So this is the fact of the matter here. You know, we're going to go actually, let's go to the 5-minute chart for this one. A lot of consolidation, right? In fact, when I zoomed in there, you can see just how flat we are, but really still very flat. So not totally bearish right now just yet, not totally bullish. Still needs time to really pan out and decide, are we going to get that price pump up to 26, 28K, or could we flip lower? You know, I still do feel like we should get that price move higher before we drop again, right? So like I said, it is possible that we get a move lower down to 18K and then get the move up to 26K. And I should really go back to the daily chart for this. But ultimately, right, I have a feeling like I know Bitcoin usually does have always a little bit more strength than we expect. So I am still expecting us to get that price pump up to 26, 28K and then to see us start to trickle down again, right? That's more common in the grand scheme of things for Bitcoin's price. We got Atherin saying he really enjoyed the stream. Keep up the good work. Gonna stop by the next time you go live. That's amazing. Please make sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications to never miss these live streams. Crypto King asking for my top 5 altcoins in my opinion. No problem, I'll go ahead and mention that. Keep in mind, right, not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. I think Tron is an amazing altcoin pick in this bear market due to its stablecoin and everything else it has going for it. I really like SushiSwap and Uniswap. So Uniswap has actually seen a lot of strength, but we're still at very low prices considering that this is a AAA DeFi play. A lot of institutions are invested in it. It's still down 88%. Could fall a bit lower again. I'm trying to wait for even lower prices, but very bullish on Uniswap in the long term. Kind of a leveraged play on Ethereum. SushiSwap, very similar. Maybe a little bit more of a multi-chain play with things like Solana and Polygon. But Sam Bankman-Friedman is obviously a backer of SushiSwap. And we've got LooksRare token. So this token is pretty interesting. We've got some notable names in the crypto space like Arthur Hayes mentioning this coin during the bear market. And this is basically the second biggest NFT marketplace out there. So OpenSea is the main one, and then LooksRare is the second biggest one. They have a token. And look at how low they are compared to the high that they had on this bull market of basically over $6, right? Peak high of $7.10. This could go flying, and very, very low compared to its previous high, right? Over a 20x on this one if we return to just our previous high. Still a very low market cap of $157 million, considering this is the second biggest NFT trading platform in the space. And so let's see, I mentioned Tron, I mentioned SushiSwap, Uniswap, and you know what, I'll also go ahead and throw in AVAX. Now I will say I do own a lot of AVAX, but I still think AVAX is one of the best layer 1 chains, and ultimately one of the chains that will be competing in the top 10 for becoming one of the best layer 1 blockchains. It's going to be Avalanche, I think, and this is very low prices compared to our previous all-time high of over $140. So $20 right now. Nothing changed fundamentally with Avalanche. It's still the same amazing functional blockchain that it was back in the day, and it's at much better prices, right? Still even holding up pretty decent here around $15-20. Could go as low as $10 here. With that being said, I'm going to take this time to end the stream. Hit that like button. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I want to see those likes coming in, seeing those follows come on Twitter, and subscribe, of course, to the channel. Turn on the bell notifications to not miss out on the live videos and on the best analysis on YouTube. And finally here, as is the tradition, let's go ahead and draw a little disgusting thumbs up, and don't forget to leave that like before we head out today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for supporting the stream, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe, and have a good one.